West Virginia only had 14 points, then obviously they had some success in the fourth quarter. What do you attribute that to, and what do you think you guys can learn from that experience?
I think we just gotta stay on them. Like, maybe the momentum isn't going our way, but defense at the end of the day, if they score points, if they don't score no points, we win the game. So I think I think we just gotta stay on full throttle and just play every play like it's our last, no matter how the game's going. Because I feel like all of us, we feel like we should have won that game for sure. But now we're just on next week, Louisville.
I think a lot of the numbers say you guys played pretty well against the run on defense. I mean, how has it felt being on the field and watching film? Do you feel like you guys been satisfied with how you played in this run?
Definitely not satisfied. Like we let up a lot of yards against our opponent last week. A lot of yards that we're good enough to not allow. So we're never satisfied. We can allow only 30 yards rushing. We won't be satisfied. We want them to be negative. So we all know we gotta come to work every day, with a chip on our shoulder, and so we're trying to be the best in the country. So we still got ways to get there. So
through the first 3 games, what have you really noticed about this defensive line as a whole?
I just think we all trust each other. Like, we truly, this year it feels a little different because this year we truly trust each other. We're truly out there balling for each other. If Fitz or Ghost or Nick makes a play, I'm excited for him, but then that motivates me to go and make a play too. Like, there's so much competition in that room, and it's all good competition. We're all just on go all the time, just ready to try to take our game to the next step. That competition inside the D-line room just breeds that, so it's amazing.
How do you feel like the D-line through 3 games has just been able to get push at the line of scrimmage and pressure the pocket?
You said how? Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, just Coach Dowse was talking to us just about how you guys have been able to pressure the pocket. And while you guys lead the ACC in sacks, he just said he would like to see you guys just finish on plays a little bit more. So just how through a number of games have you felt like you guys have gotten pushed at the line of scrimmage and just been able to pressure the pocket?
Yeah, I think the guys in our D-line have been playing real good, getting to the quarterback, pressure the quarterback, interior guys being able to, push up the pocket from the inside and make the quarterback, step out, roll out to outside, and vice versa, the ends pushing the quarterback to step up into us and us making plays off of that. But we, like Dow said, we still have a lot of things we can fix, like just, last game, I missed another sack. I could have had, at least 2 sacks that game, but I didn't finish, So maybe in practice I got to work on, finishing harder, and just being more attention to my detail. And that goes for everybody, We're doing pretty good right now, but we got we got really big goals for ourselves. So
When you say finishing sacks or finishing plays, is that, especially with the sacks, is that tackling technique? Is it, what do you feel like?
it's pretty much tackling technique, but sack tackling technique's a little different because you're usually in a bad position to make a tackle, but you gotta finish it. For example, the play I was talking about last game, I hit a lineman with like a push-pull, and then I was trying to wrap around him, and the quarterback is stepping up, and I'm basically just trying to dive to make the sack. It's a bad position to be in as a tackler, trying to get the ball carrier down, but that is still, if I'm in that position, I gotta make it happen. It doesn't matter if it's a good position, bad position. I gotta figure out a way to, just hone in on my technique, on my finishing when it comes to my tackling technique to, bring the quarterback down in those situations.
The defense was out there for about 90 plays. Obviously, the final drive in regulation, the final drive in overtime, not the outcomes you wanted with giving up the touchdowns, but what can you take away from that experience so early this season and use it moving forward?
I thought, it didn't go the way we wanted, but we never gave up out there. Our defensive mentality is never give up. Give the same effort, on game days from the first play to the last play. And I feel like the effort was there. We didn't finish correctly. We allowed them to score. That's on me. That's on us as a defense. But what I'm proud about as a defense is the energy never leaves. We always believe that we can, in the game, we can take the game over. So that's what I'm proud about.
We've
I think he's just real comfortable now. You know, he's real. It's the second year. You know, he put the work in the off season, and now it's his time to shine. You know, he's been given his opportunity, and he's made the most out of it. You know, he's a quiet kid, but he's a hungry kid. You know, and he wants it just as bad as all of us. Now he's had his opportunity to go out there and make plays, and he's been really making a lot of plays. So, yeah.
What stands out? I know he's a little banged up right now about Isaac Brown and just the challenges he brings as Louisville's running back.
He's just a real fast, explosive guy, but he's fast, explosive guy. He's young, so it's impressive what he can do. But I have full confidence in our guys. We don't really worry about anybody, no matter who it is we're lined up against. So he's a good player, but we have full confidence that no matter how good he is, that don't matter.